You do not just serve God in the church, you serve God more in humanity. By the end of today, we have all in our different places of worship identified with our Maker. The Muslims must have worshipped on Friday. The Seventh-day Adventists or the Sabbatarians would have worshipped on Saturday, and other Christians worship today. What I want to share with you is the importance of serving God in humanity. On days of worship, we go to the house of God to be refilled, just like a driver goes to the fuel station to refill his fuel tank. The driver does not exhaust the fuel in his tank at the fuel station. He exhausts the fuel tank on the street, on the road, and different places that he drives to. In the same way, as you get refilled in the church, you are supposed to burn the fuel, the spiritual fuel you received, among your neighbors. The neighbors we're talking about are not people that your neighbors within your place of residence. You have your neighbors everywhere. Your co-passenger in a vehicle is your neighbor. The person you are sharing anything with in the office is your neighbor. Your colleague is your neighbor. Your employee is your neighbor. Your employer is your neighbor. So wherever you meet someone, that person becomes your neighbor. That is where you burn the spiritual fuel you receive from the household of faith when you go there for worship. And so I want to remind you that inasmuch as it is important that you belong to one pious society or to one service unit or department, as they may be called in your church, you do not just serve God in the church. You serve God more in humanity. Your relationship with your neighbors, who could be the poor, who could be the rich that also need your services. Your relationship with your friends. So I encourage you this week as you go out, make sure you exhibit the real conduct of a child of God that you are, so that our society can reflect the faith that we profess. Because there are so many people that claim to worship God in this country, but the amount of ills in our society makes someone to wonder if there are actually individuals who truly worship God. I want to encourage you. It's a reflection for both you and myself that we try to reflect the faith we profess in our daily lives, so that our customers, our friends, our relatives, our mates, our neighbors, everywhere, we feel the impact of that faith we profess, either as a Muslim, a Christian, or whatever faith we profess. We must show love. We must show kindness. We must show understanding. Happy Sunday, my dear friend.